Unlike knitting, there is no fancy way to bind off in crochet. All you have to do is give yourself about a 6 to 8 inch tail long enough to weave in and snip it. Then you are just going to pull your crochet hook till the yarn is out. Once you've pulled your yarn out, then you're going to take your yarn needle and thread the excess yarn into it. Once you've done that, you can flip it over, because in knitting, depending on what stitch you are using, there's an obvious wrong side. In crochet, if you're working flat, there's not so much unless you're doing a bunch of color changes. If you're working in a round, there is. But since we're working flat, there's no true right or wrong side other than if you look at the chain row, because you will see the slip knot in this end, and when you are chaining out a row, the slip knot's on the left. So this is technically the right side. But, so for that matters, we will flip it over to the wrong side. Now, to even ends, there are no smiles or umbrellas like knitting. So you're just going to find a little back of a V, really, that's what it is, and stick it in there. And then it's harder to see the yarn ends from the opposite side with crochet, because you can pretty much just put it anywhere, tuck it underneath there. It goes pretty much anywhere, honestly. You just keep weaving it in, and like me, I like to make sure my yarn is really secure. But in crochet, so you can do what I do in knitting and split the yarn and then put in a separate and then tie it, but crochet tends to stay a little better than knitting, in my opinion. So I eventually just wrap it around one of these little V's and then just make a tiny little knot and then snip it off. Now, if you are working with triple crochet or double crochet, it might seem a little more difficult to weave ends because it's not as compact like single or half double crochet. So you thread the needle again, and then I tend to go this stitch here, just go straight through that stitch. Make sure you don't pull it too much. You want to maintain its height. So you do that, just hook it underneath one of these V's here. And then you can really just stick the needle as far as you can catch it. And then if you want to, just make it go round. And then if you can't do that for some reason, you can pick up some of the strands in the height. But that's really all that's to it, and cut it off. And look, from the front, you can't even see it.